For decades, the Assad family has ruled Syria with an iron fist, shaping the nation's destiny. Hafez al-Assad, a military officer, took over in 1970 after a successful coup, establishing his dominance. He established a one-party state, silencing anyone who disagreed with him, and ruling with an authoritarian grip. When he died in 2000, his son, Bashar al-Assad, became president, inheriting his father's legacy. Bashar, an eye doctor trained in Britain, seemed like he might change things, bringing hope to many Syrians. People hoped for more freedom, economic reforms, and a break from the past. But Bashar ruled just like his father, maintaining the same oppressive regime. He kept the same power structure and shut down any opposition, dashing hopes for real change. The Assad family seemed to be in control forever, their grip on power unyielding. The Syrian people lived under constant watch, their lives monitored closely. Secret police were everywhere, scaring people into silence, ensuring no dissent could take root. Even though it was oppressive, some Syrians liked the stability, preferring it over chaos. But underneath, people were angry about corruption, inequality, and the lack of freedom, their frustrations simmering. This tension would soon explode into conflict, shaking the Assad family's power and altering Syria's future. In 2011, the Arab Spring, a series of protests for democracy, reached Syria. At first, people protested peacefully, asking for reforms and more freedom. But the Assad regime responded with violence, shooting unarmed protesters. This started a full-blown civil war. As the fighting got worse, the Assad regime became more brutal. The Syrian military bombed civilian areas and even used chemical weapons, killing hundreds, including women and children. The world condemned these actions, but Assad denied everything. To crush the rebels, the regime used its security forces and allied militias. They arrested people without reason, tortured them, and killed them. Syrian people were trapped in the violence. Millions fled their homes, becoming refugees. Syria fell into chaos and the bloodshed seemed endless. The Syrian civil war went on for years with neither side winning, but the city of Aleppo became a turning point. Rebels had controlled eastern Aleppo since 2012. A long and bloody battle for the city began. In 2016, the Syrian army, helped by Russia and Iranian-backed militias, attacked Aleppo. The rebels fought hard but were defeated. Losing Aleppo was a big setback for the opposition. Assad seemed close to winning, but things were still complicated. Different groups controlled different parts of Syria. The world was divided on what to do. Some countries supported Assad, others supported the rebels. Even though Assad was winning, the war wasn't over. After Aleppo fell and the rebels weakened, various factions began vying for dominance in Syria. The Syrian government, bolstered by Russia and Iran, aimed to reclaim the entire nation. They concentrated on regaining territory and quelling any opposition. However, other factions sought power as well. Kurdish groups in northern Syria proclaimed independence. They established their own government and military to safeguard their interests. Turkey, fearing the Kurds, launched attacks to prevent them from forming a separate state. The struggle for control rendered the situation extremely perilous and unpredictable. Alliances were in constant flux. The Syrian populace continued to endure immense hardship. The future of Syria remained uncertain. Then on October 7, 2023, a chain reaction began. An Iranian-backed militia, Hamas, attacked Israel. Israel responded by targeting not only Hamas but also Iranian forces in Syria and Hezbollah. With Iran distracted and Hezbollah weakened, Assad lost his primary defense. At the same time, Russia, preoccupied with its war in Ukraine, was unable to intervene. Sensing an opportunity, Syrian rebels tested Assad's forces in Aleppo, and succeeded. Celebratory gunfire filled Aleppo as rebels took control. Syrian government forces abandoned weapons and fled. In just days, the rebels advanced towards Damascus. With no support from Russia or Iran, Assad's forces crumbled. Some soldiers even changed into civilian clothing to escape. On a late Saturday night in December, Assad and his family boarded a plane to Moscow, ending one of the world's most oppressive regimes. Now various factions vie for control in Syria. Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, a powerful rebel group, is best positioned to take power. HTS, led by Abu Muhammad al-Jolani, emerged from extremist origins, but today it claims to have moderated its stance. However, the US still designates it as a terrorist organization due to its past links to al-Qaeda. The Syrian National Army, another rebel coalition backed by Turkey, has different ideologies, with some factions aiming to establish an Islamic state. Kurdish-led groups in the north seek to maintain their autonomy, having long faced persecution under Assad. Meanwhile, remnants of ISIS could exploit the chaos to regroup. The collapse of Assad's regime has triggered global ripple effects. Turkey benefits most, as it can begin repatriating over 3 million Syrian refugees and strengthen its influence in northern Syria. Iran loses its key ally in the Middle East, severing its connection to Hezbollah and its buffer against Israel. Israel opposes Assad but also fears an Islamist regime could take his place, posing a new threat. Russia risks losing its military bases and influence in Syria, while the US faces questions about its ongoing presence and strategy in the region. For Syrians, this is both a moment of celebration and uncertainty. While many rejoice in the streets, the challenges of uniting diverse factions, rebuilding the country, and avoiding another descent into chaos loom large. Thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and we'll see you next time.